Raven Martinez.
Hello. As City Council members, you're elected by the people to be our voice when such controversial issues, such as the surveillance cameras that's currently come to the table, come into play. And I have to agree with Councilwoman Lisa Sletsko, I'm sorry, the last name, that I find it disturbing, actually, that City Council has not been a part of the chat or the conversations that's taking place on exactly what to do to better the downtown area. Because in my experiences so far in Colorado Springs, it appears that the only people that the citizens of Colorado Springs actually have an opportunity to engage with is City Council. We don't really get the opportunity to engage with the mayor or anybody else from the city administration building. And so this is where we have to come. And so sometimes you guys pretty much get the grunt of our anger because this is the only place we get to come and actually express our views on the situations. Now, Police Chief Pete Carey basically has said that this is going to be for safety and security of the downtown area. I find that somewhat interesting considering just back in February of this year, Colorado Springs was considered the second safest city in the United States by insuranceproviders.com. So being the second safest city in the United States, where's all this crime taking place? It was mentioned that there's issues with homelessness. Some of the issues are with like punk kids that seem to like skip out of school and things like that in Acacia Park. The homeless with the aggressive panhandling. And then later in the evenings, I'm sure a lot of the crimes or a lot of the phone calls have to do with occupants that are coming out of the bars and that are drunk late at night. Well, the cameras are not going to deter any of those people from committing the crimes. Because I know I've heard of one business person in the downtown area that supports the surveillance cameras because they've told stories about how they had a homeless lady who was somewhat, they said, crazy, and in front of their store yelling and pulling down her pants. Well, let me ask you, you really think that somebody that's in that state of mind actually is even going to care whether or not they're on camera? And that state of mind, are they really going to be deterred, their actions? I mean, even if they do know they're on camera, it's not going to stop them from acting in that manner. It's not going to stop somebody that's drunk from acting in that manner because they're not in the right state of mind. Punk kids don't care if they're going to be on camera. As a matter of fact, it might entice them to go out and do even more crimes so that they get to be seen on camera. And so, because that's unfortunately what the things that happens. And I mean, they brought up issues with Acacia Park, and when the gentleman said, oh, you could somewhat get stoned, to quote him, from walking through Acacia Park. And I've brought that issue up in conversation with city council members or when I've come up here and spoke, and just in other areas that Acacia Park, why is this not, where's the officers at down there? I mean, we could get truancy officers to come down there and address issues with a lot of these children, and I call them children because they're under 18, they should be in school. Why are they not, nobody's coming down there and actually saying anything to them? Because it really is quite disgusting when you go through Acacia Park. Another thing we could do in Acacia Park is actually utilize it, as it's been stated previously, for events. I mean, get some events down there going. There's a stage down there. If you have more people down there, that's what's going to deter somebody from committing a crime, not a camera in the sky. That they don't care about. But if there's a bunch of people around them, they're going to think twice before hitting somebody or before doing anything because there's somebody there with an immediate reaction. And I just have to say our police officers are becoming more militarized. It used to be that our police officers and our law enforcement officials, they had personal relationships with the community. They were out in the public. The people knew them. I mean, even in a larger city, still, you knew the police officers. And when you start using security cameras instead of uniformed police officers, that impersonalizes it. That makes it very impersonal. And that's just, okay, somebody sitting behind the desk and watching. No, I'd rather see, I'm not asking for there not to be patrol. I'd rather see uniformed officers down there patrolling the area because that's what's going to actually detour the crime. Because all the surveillance cameras are going to do is possibly catch somebody after the fact. And again, if the problem are homeless people, punk kids, and drunks, okay, even if you catch them after the fact, what is that going to result in? A citation? Okay, you're going to give a citation to somebody who's not going to be able to pay the fine, or somebody's going to get a court date that they're not going to show up to, and then you're going to have the cost of issuing warrants to these people that don't care because they don't have the money, they don't have a residence, they don't care. So you're just going to constipate the docket in our courts. You're going to continue to add more cost, because now we have all kinds of warrants being issued. That's $35 they're going to fine each person for a warrant being issued. Plus then they have the fines that they didn't pay. Then their failures to appear. Then they get picked up finally, and they get thrown in jail, where again, as taxpayers, we get to pay for them to have a nice little stay at CJC, where a homeless person might not have such a bad, that might not be so bad for them. That may be what they want. So again, this is actually just going to cause more cost to the taxpayers. So I really urge that we go against even the idea of installing surveillance cameras in the downtown area. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would, I'd like to get through all the speakers.